I've got a passenger of interest. We've been notified from another country that he may be coming in with narcotics, so we'll have a look at it. We may be onto something, he might have something, so we'll see how we go. Have you got a list of drugs?
No.
No? Okay. So you've been Tennessee,
Right.
over to Canada?
No, Tennessee to Dallas.
Jeff's complicated itinerary and his agitated state have caused a huge blip on the international customs radar. Officials in Canada were suspicious enough to send information on to their Australian counterparts.
So you're looking a bit, sick.
Yes, I am. I've been flying for the last 2 days.
Is everything all right? You need a seat or anything?
Yeah.
You need a seat?
Oh, no.
No, you don't need to sit down? Do you need a glass of water or something?
No.
You look a bit, like you're dehydrated or something. Do you need something to...
No.
It's my
It's
duty.
common for drug couriers to conceal drugs internally, so naturally John is interested in Jeff's state of health.
You've eaten nothing on the flight?
Yes.
What did you eat?
We had lunch.
Yeah, what was for lunch?
We had breakfast.
Yeah, lunch and breakfast?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And
we had egg.
there you go.
It's just very strange. It starts ticking in your head whether he's actually swallowed something to bring into Australia.
This sounds like Canada all over again.
What, did Canada Customs give you a bit of a hard time, did they?
Well, a little bit.
Yeah, what'd they ask you over there?
His answers aren't coming back as quick, and just trying to trick him in his answering and stuff, it's very hard to get him. But yeah, he's a very switched on boy, so we'll just see what we can do.
And how much cash you got on you today?
About 7,000.
US?
There seems to be another problem. Jeff has failed to declare cash, which makes John more suspicious.
Can you read question 5 for me?
What is $10,000?
Australian 10,000.
Uh-huh.
Well, the US dollar's a lot more than the Australian.
Huh.
It's probably just over, but you didn't declare it. That's the thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you got $7,000 cash on you that you haven't declared on the card. Okay? You can't tell me where you're going to be going, and you're looking very sick to me.
Yes.
Sydney's Cargo Mail Handling Centre. Customs officers are x-raying 2 identical boxes on their way out to Japan.
Got something interesting here. Can you hold that one? It's hard to tell on X-ray exactly what they are. They do appear to be lizards.
But that's not what the declaration says.
So we'll take a look now very carefully. Okay, there's not much packing in the box, and I can see that there is a number of items bundled in socks. I won't open the socks any further. What we'll do is contact our investigations unit and organise for the items to be taken over to the Taronga Park Zoo and identified over there by qualified staff. It's hard to tell at this stage what condition they're in, whether they're dead or alive or sedated.
Was it split between a couple of people?
It's been a long 2 days for Jeff. He's passed through 4 countries and has aroused the interest of customs in 2 of them.
Is everything all right, sir? Do you need any?
No,
do you need
it's
a
starting
seat?
to not be all right.
Sorry?
No, it's starting to not be all right.
Why? What's wrong?
I'm not going to ask any more questions.
Sorry?
I'm not going to ask any more questions.
You're not going to answer any more of my
I
questions.
think I better.
But you still haven't given me a reason why you're coming to Australia.
What did President Bush do, you guys?
Sorry?
What did President Bush do to your country?
What did President Bush do to our country? What's that got to do with anything? Gut feeling so far at the moment is pretty good. He's struggling answering questions. He's very agitated. He's just moving around like he doesn't know what he's doing. It just seems like he's out of it. So we could have something.
We've actually now discovered that there are 9 boxes in total. They all appear to be coming from the same sender going out of the country to Japan.
The boxes are being taken to Taronga Zoo. There the contents will be identified, dead or alive.
The animals haven't been properly packed. There's no sort of water supply for them. There's actually even no packaging around the box so that they're able to move around and be damaged, bruised, even killed.
9 boxes.
There's some in the back seat as well.
So if we can just kind of unload them all and then find out what they are, and then we'll take the boxes back.
We'll just set up in one of our treatment rooms there, and we can just have all the boxes lined up and just work through them slowly.
We will be looking at fingerprinting, so obviously the need for gloves is very important in this case.
All right, well, I'm going to have a look through your bag now, as we said. So I'd like you to open it for me.
Mark is still trying to prove that he is who he says he is. Mark Lau, born in Darwin in 1979.
I'm particularly interested in any documents that you have.
It all started with his passport.
We have received information that says that this passport may have been fraudulently obtained.
The document was issued just 2 years ago, and none of his other forms of ID predated.
What I'm interested in is verification of you as an Australian before these identification documents were issued.
Then there's his dodgy memory.
What was your high school?
I can't remember the school name.
You can't remember the school name?
Mark has some explaining to do.
The other thing I wanted to say, Mr. Lau, while we're doing this, is we've just done a more thorough search of our systems, and your parents don't exist, according to us.
You can check, okay?
That's what I'm trying to do, but the trouble is, the things we found are not helping me very much.
Okay.
How long have you been out of Australia for?
No, I born here, I tell you.
How long were you out this trip?
Actually, it's over a month.
Only a month.
Could I speak to somebody who deals with Medicare fraud, please?
Hey, find it. A boy.
Almost every parcel and mail item that enters Australia is physically checked by officers of customs and quarantine.
Okay, we found one of these packages at one of the air cargo depots out in Mascot. It looks a bit dodgy. It should be business documents. G'day, Jane.
Is that the parcel of interest?
Yeah, this is the one I called you about. It's out of South Africa. Reported as business docs. It's all handwritten, a bit dodgy, so I think we should have a close look at it here.
Run it through.
Yeah, there it is there. It still looks like they've cut the paper away, so it's probably a book or something. If we just sort of bring up the negative look there, that's really very, very organic. And
You can definitely see the segments. It's clearly been cut away and placed inside.
Just the difference when you enhance the edges, you can really sort of see where the cracks are. So it's probably something organic. Quarantine might be interested in this one if it's not anything else that we're interested in.
Definitely warrants further investigation. Okay. At this stage, we don't know what's in it, but the area that it's come from is a known high-risk country, and the image on the screen has definitely given us reasons to look further.
You always said Australia is multi-nationality. I don't think so.
Mark has had enough.
He is travelling on an Australian passport, but we're not so sure if he is an Australian. And one of the things he's got is a Medicare card. And I was wondering if you'd be able to answer this question, basically, whether or not he had a prior Medicare card to this one.
If Mark's Medicare history predates the passport
Bloody country.
and proves that he is Mark Lau, he'll be allowed in.
Right.
If not, he may be refused entry.
Now, I've just sent a fax to the Health Insurance Commission about your Medicare card. How long have you had your Medicare card?
This one, I lost the one. I just replaced a new one.
Yeah, this is a new one, huh?
Yeah.
And you had one before that?
Yes.
And you had one before that?
Yeah.
How many Medicare cards have you had?
Before, I come with family one.
Yeah, you're on the family one?
Yeah, I just a separate one.
So is this your first separate one? Second separate one. Okay. The problem that we have still is that we still can't identify your parents from any departmental system.
Okay.
That's a big problem, huh?
Oh, but if you can find the Medicare, I can go in there.
Sorry?
If Medicare sign tell all the history, I can go in there.
Well, it depends what they tell me.
Okay.
What we're just going to do now is start taking the package open. We'll run a few iron scan swabs and we'll try and see what it is.
The suspicious package from South Africa needs further investigation.
Looks like it's definitely something that's organic. We're just going to have to use our technology here with the ion scan machine, which will tell us if it's going to be drugs or just some other organic substance. It's got a few layers here. I think they're truly trying to keep it inside, keep the smell inside the package.
So just give that a good wipe around the seams.
All right, we'll go give that a run and see if we get something back.
Go test it. Okay, we've got a registering cocaine there at the moment.
While the readings are for cocaine, the officers aren't convinced.
Yes, because you don't know whether the cocaine's reading from
looking
whoever packaged it. Oh my
A
goodness.
bit odd already.
Definitely not how you find normally bound documents.
Couldn't be. Looks like a
phone book.
Johannesburg phone book. So, wrapped up with a bit of tape, so sort of probably going to...
There's your segments.
Sort of see the powder in there in between the paper. That looks got a bit of colour to it. Normally wouldn't find cocaine with a bit of colour, so might need to just run another test and see what this is.
It goes in with a bit of force, so it's not completely rock, but
Fairly stuck in there.
there's definitely white powder residue you can see on
powder there.
the pin. And there you go. We've got heroin.
It's come up for heroin now, so it's come up with a pretty good reading for it.
At Taronga Zoo,
That's a shingleback lizard. Very poor condition.
everyone's worst fear is realised. The box is full of native wildlife.
I think he's very weak and he probably hasn't eaten for a long time. We'll just put them in individual bags, and once we set them up and warm them up, and that will sort of give them any treatment that they require. But the thing is, they're very cramped in these socks. This guy can't even straighten out. They would have been very sore in there.
It's a cruel act, and one that offers a jail term of up to 10 years.
Again, another shingleback, very poor condition, pretty much the same. Quite likely they've been already in these bags for a couple of days maybe. But they may have caught these ages ago as well, and they've just been keeping them, I suppose, and waiting for them to accumulate the whole lot.
They are fairly valuable just due to the fact that they only have 1 to 3 young, and they are more difficult than other reptiles to breed.
Because they're monogamous as well, so they don't sort of breed readily.
Oh, I did hear around the $1,000 mark.
US dollar.
Multiply that by 9 boxes and trafficking is big business.
When we get back to the office, we'll go through all of this documentation, obviously, to see if there's any clues as to the people who are behind this.
At Taronga Zoo,
It's a bearded dragon, juvenile.
more than 40 lizards have been removed from the 9 boxes postmarked Japan.
It's a bizarre sort of concept to me to do something like this to an animal. Eastern longneck turtle. Doesn't look like he's in very good condition. Very dry skin.
They obviously don't care too much about the welfare of the animals. They wrap them up like this, they put them in a box where they're going to get thrown around, and then they don't seem to care after that. It's all about the money for them.
Very big, be quite an old animal, this. There were 44 shinglebacks and 1 bearded dragon and 1 eastern longneck turtle. And we're just going to put them into our quarantine area here at the zoo, where they'll stay until Customs has some plan for them.
We have to take all the boxes back to the evidence room because they may be required in court at a later date. We'll also be looking further into the sender's details. Obviously 96 Cumberland Street, we've already identified that as a hotel in the Rocks. So we'll be looking to see if somebody stays there with the initials A and G.
Just just going to put these 3 segments on the scales.
Jane and Clayton's discovery of drugs concealed in a phone book has paid off. They have stopped a large heroin consignment from hitting our streets.
I'd say you could be looking at up to half a kilo of heroin there. It's a good find. We normally get 100 grams, 200 grams, and it might be in vacuum-sealed little bags inside photo albums, storybooks.
The parcel was handed to the Australian Federal Police. The handwriting on the package is part of an ongoing investigation. So far, there have been no arrests.
I'm trying to chase up Medicare. We are waiting for a response on a fax just sent regarding a passenger in immigration clearance. I'd appreciate it if you could give us a call either way within the next few minutes. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Lau, sorry to keep you. What do you think the Health Insurance Commission's going to tell me?
I don't know. You know what Medicare can tell this guy how are your Medicare?
Well, I'm asking you. I've asked them to give me a history of your Medicare.
Yeah, he will be
so what do you think they'll tell me?
He sent a history to you. You understand? He will tell me real history, man.
I've asked Medicare to tell me when you got your previous cards and who your cards were with, because I can't find any record of your parents. Now, what if they can't find any record of your parents either?
Just don't open that up.
What is it?
Back in Customs, Jeff from Texas is playing games.
I think I found something right here. What is this? Well, that's nothing.
Just a sock, is it?
But the officers aren't amused. They still believe Jeff may be a drug courier, so they're moving on to a body search.
I'll go 219.
Now, it's just a quick pat down, just to make sure you're not carrying anything illegal on the body.
Right. By the law of Australia, you have the right to say no to your first search. This means that you may then be held for a higher level of search. But let's not go no higher level of search.
If you just stand like that for me, and this officer will do the search, remember at any time if you want him to stop, just say no, okay?
Jeff is thoroughly checked.
Because sometimes people do hide things on their body, it's very hard to find.
But the body frisk is negative.
Do you have anything in your shoes? No, nothing.
Jeff is agitated and evasive, but despite intense scrutiny by customs officers, it seems Jeff is a bona fide traveller. He's simply a little out of the ordinary.
If you're nervous, or when you haven't done anything, can you imagine when you do something, how you feel?
You're right, you can take your trolley.
Yes.
It's all right. See you later. Have a nice day. Bye.
I need a nice cold Australian beer.
It's just one of those weird things that happen. It's just a strange guy.
But Texas.
While Jeff has been cleared, things are not looking good for Mark, and they are still waiting for his Medicare report.
Bottom line is, we have information from the Federal Police to say that the passport was fraudulently obtained. He's maintaining that it wasn't, that he obtained it through the use of his own driver's licence and birth certificate.
And this is his first passport, isn't it?
This is his first passport, never had one before. And all the identification that he has is post the passport. So this entire identity, I believe, has been manufactured on the basis of this passport as a starting point.
I know.
He's got very poor language skills for an Australian educated person. I think that in the light of everything we've got, that we have no choice but to refuse him entry and say we can't be satisfied he complies with 166 because I cannot be satisfied he's this individual.
No.
The long-awaited fax has arrived. Will it change everything? The fax is not good news for Mark. His current Medicare card is the only card on record, and it was issued after his passport.
Okay, Mr. Lau, or Mark, or whatever, we've reached a decision. The decision is that on the basis of the information that you have given me today, and on the basis of the information that we've received from other agencies, we are not satisfied that you are an Australian citizen, Mark Lau, born in Darwin in 1979. I believe that you are another person and are therefore formally refused immigration clearance to Australia. And that means I am going to detain you pursuant to Section 189 of the Migration Act. You will be held in immigration custody pending determination of your correct identity and visa status. Do you understand what I've just said?
I understand.
Okay, do you have any questions that you'd like to ask me at this point?
At this point, I want to see my solicitor.
Okay.
At Customs head office,
We've identified the person at the post office who sent these packages. 2 of the packages that were sent yesterday from a post office downstairs in this building.
the 9 identical boxes postmarked Japan contained illegal wildlife export, 45 lizards and 1 long-necked turtle.
You've got to provide an ID these days with the anti-terrorist stuff that's going on to send packages overseas. We've just tracked down that ID. It's a Japanese driver's licence.
They have the number, but no name.
What we're doing now is trying to make some inquiries in Japan to see if we can track down a name to go with the licence number.
Customs investigators identified 2 men allegedly responsible for the illegal smuggling, but they had already left the country. If they return, they may face prosecution. All of the animals survived.
How can you approve? I'm not born in Australia.
The question is not proof, the question is reasonable belief, okay? We don't believe that you are an Australian citizen.
Okay.
And where we're at is that you are now refused entry and you are now in immigration custody. Arrangements will be made for your transport from the airport. And that would be to the Immigration Detention Centre in all likelihood. Interview suspended at 12:55.
Mark was interviewed by the Australian Federal Police. He was charged with obtaining an Australian passport using a false birth certificate. Mark's real name is Hao Liu. Hao, a Chinese citizen, was fined $1,000 and given a 5-month suspended jail sentence. Hao returned to China and is subject to a 3-year exclusion period from Australia.